Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and it is time for the Impact Review. You already know what we're gonna say about the show, even before we get started. Shitty, more shit. Like, what is the point anymore? Every single show, they're not allowed to do good wrestling. This whole show was a talk show.
It's the equivalent of a soap opera, pretty much. If you were to look on CBS.
Might as well be a soap opera. Only like two minutes of action, of in-ring wrestling. The rest is just talk. Blah 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 blah. Everybody's talking. Everybody's got more drama. It's, it should just be knockouts. It's all it is just bitching the whole fucking time, just talking.
Blah 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 blah.
I'm surprised they're not on their phones texting the whole show.
That
would be more modern instead of all this talking. Who talks anymore? They're mostly just texting. Should just be wrestlers standing around texting on their phones. Actually, maybe that would be even funnier. At least get some entertainment out of it. And we start off with talking.
Talking. Oh yeah, MVP Joe Aries.
Oh yeah, everybody's coming out. Someone's gonna get fired tonight. Good, they did. Go back.
Oh yeah, no. Every time I always hear MVP, you see, we're the director of wrestling operations, and I always keep hearing him say that line every time.
Some people love MVP. I've hated this man since his WWE days. I mean, just an annoying, loud bastard, just with no real talent or anything. Everybody likes to praise him. They tell me give him a chance because he's been in Japan. What, because he ate sushi? I should give him a medal? I don't get it. But anyway, they stand out there for 15 minutes, and it takes them 15-20 minutes just to say they're going to have a contract versus contract match. It's almost pointless to criticize him at this point, but condense these promos. They don't have anything to say. They drag it out to the point just to get one single point across, and you have to take 15-20 minutes just to say this one thing, and they're babbling out there.
I can basically seg up every segment. Alright, there's 2 hours within an episode. An hour, alright, maybe 20 or 30 minutes of that goes to commercials. An hour is probably worth talking. Now, if you were to look at wrestling-wise, the big picture, how much wrestling would dedicate onto the show? Probably about 10 to 20 minutes for a 2-hour episode. And when you look at that is like 10% of the whole show. And if TNA is all about wrestling, that's generally not. 10%, that's a small amount. That's like mini size.
And then it's just babble.
Yeah, no, it's funny. There was 3 matches. 2 of them never even went. 2 of them were didn't even finish.
Oh, we'll get to
one of them that finished actually was crap, but I said at least they had a complete match with no interruptions.
Then you had more talking than after they get done with it, and Black Evolution comes out there. Then you had Bram and Magnus talking in the back. After 10 minutes of that bullshit, then it's off to the match where it's Bram and Magnus, Bram and Willow having a match. This ends after 3 minutes. Then you had Magnus. He starts hitting Willow with
the crowbar.
What is with Bram and the crowbar? I mean, he loves the crowbar. He wants to stick it up his ass. Does he want Magnus to stick it up Willow's ass?
I think they're just trying to copy the Triple H thing. That's a significant weapon.
Yeah, probably with the sledgehammer or something like that. All this is copying WWE. And the fact is, what's pathetic about that is WWE ain't that great. So what are they copying? They're copying their worst stuff. Not even copying stuff from the Attitude Era. I could even see why they would do that, but copying stuff from the PG era? What is this? And then up next you got Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, which was also prefaced by a long, dragged-out MVP talking to the Wolves in the back. I'm zoning out. I'm about to fucking fall asleep.
Next.
So then the match actually takes place, and there's a little bit of athleticism, but then, of course, Kenny King has to come down, and the bad acting and promo skills showcased once again. That's the thing. Also, I forgot to mention, but I mention it every week. not only are these promos long, boring, and not full of any substance or anything at all that would mean anything, they're poorly acted. Everybody on this show is a horrible actor. And same thing with Samoa Joe. You're a liar. I didn't even mention that during the first part, but the same thing with
No. The way he starts off is like how he even tries throw so much tyrants, liars, thieves. And I was like, all right, Joe, calm down. I don't think in any way getting anything excited over this promo.
I don't mean to retrace my steps in this review, but I've totally forgot about that. I had to mention
that the word tyrant. I think when you use the word tyrant is comical because tyrants you use as medieval days. You know what I'm saying?
It's just goofy. It's just Joe's there. He's out there to sound tough and everything. He's talking about killing people. I don't think it's a good idea to kill people in wrestling. That's kind of a sensitive topic with Benoit and everybody. We shouldn't be talking about killing wrestlers. Not very nice. Murder ain't a good thing. But this match was anyway. Back to Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. It was I can't say it was bad, but Kenny King just came out here and took me completely out of the match, just babbling on the mic, trying to mock them unsuccessfully. Eddie Edwards ends up winning. These are like Ring of Honor champions. They put them in TNA obviously to please the internet fans. But how is anybody supposed to be pleased? They look like jobbers in there. These don't look like former world champions. They look like nobodies. They look like Spandangos.
Well, it doesn't matter if they don't need to know. You don't have to showcase the wrestling ability because all they did was talk throughout the whole segment. So you could have gotten your friends and you could have called them a TNA superstar.
I know, you grab a random person on the street just to talk. Basically, there's a bunch of babbling maniacs here in New York on street corners.
If you think about it, like when when they had, are we up to the Anderson segment?
Not yet, but we're getting to that. He was walking around backstage, you could say. But
we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. But this is the thing. Kenny King is talking during the match, so we already have commentary. Why do we have to have this fucking idiot, Kenny King, just coming out babbling, just completely destroying any type of, anything good from that match? Then it was the menagerie and the bromance. I think it was supposed to be a match, but it never happened.
Man, when Crazy Steve, man, Crazy Steve's the most best wrestler in TNA. When Crazy Steve comes in, there's never going to be a match.
I don't know why I was laughing. I was laughing pretty hard during this, but I don't know if it was necessarily funny. I was just laughing at how completely bad it was. Because Bobby E is scared of clowns. He's throwing himself on the floor like a fucking idiot. And this would be okay if there was some decent things on the show, but it just doesn't sit well when everything is so fucking moronic, and then you throw a bunch of clowns
and then
out
they had Rob Terry pretty much picking him up like some sort of gymnastics in a freestyle.
DJ Zema Ion getting pressed for like a fucking hour. And this just went on and went on. It's just basically honking horns.
They basically honked whose horn was bigger between DJ's and Crazy Steve's horn.
Oh yeah, that part was pretty funny.
That was kind of like
and then then it was just bad. This is just bad television. I mean, you can laugh at how bad it is, but at the end of the day, it's
and then they try to get each other's grill with the horn. It was like, man, a horn standoff.
Oh man, this shit's horrible. Dogs barking, it's craziness. Anyway, so got Aries and Joe up next. Contract versus contract, and of course, if it's not enough, you have Eric Young dragging the referee out, and he starts talking to the referee. Nobody fucking shuts up on this show. Everyone's fucking talking to each other. You might as well add to it. Call up your friends, start talking, add to the talking. It's all about talking. Total non-stop talking. It's TNW. It's TNT. Yeah. TNT. Tuesday was a Thursday. But yeah, this match is like it goes 4 minutes, and then you've got Eric Young coming out. Then MVP comes out, And it's just, talk. It's just, this is all it is. And
I think, wasn't that the segment where, first off, Bully Ray and Eric Young come out?
Yeah, everybody comes out.
Here's the thing. And once I noticed, I told you, I bet you, once they hit the referee, they're going to talk.
MVP.
And next thing you know, they talk like a good 2 hours. Like, when the referee's down, the talking begins.
Not even Triple H during 2004 booked himself to be on the show this much. It's ridiculous. MVP opens the show.
See, but when you're the director of wrestling operations, I can do whatever I want.
Basically, he thinks we could just be on the whole fucking show. It's enough. A shitty wrestler throughout the whole show. He's opening up the show 20 minutes. Then he's talking backstage, and Samoa Joe's cutting a promo backstage. Everybody was already on the show. They have 3 promos per show. Enough. You get the fucking point. Just do one promo. Sum up everything you want to say on the show. And get the fuck out of here. It's too much. They're talking, and it's basically about the same thing. And then, okay, this is what you want to talk about. You have James Storm and Mr. Anderson. And usually, when you're the baby face, you're supposed to come off as cool and stuff, but Anderson comes out in some fucking Back to the Future Part 3 cowboy style getup.
He had he looked like what's those what's that Western actor that's very popular?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. He looked like that, like he dressed up for a Western movie.
Like a poor man's John Wayne.
The poor man's John Wayne. Time to drink the beer, and I was like, "Oh God, what is TNA having?" I wonder if they're mixing up Anderson's gimmick with becoming a Western now, a Western guy, cowboy guy.
And this is actually probably the best thing on the show, because I was so happy when Storm came out and just kicked Anderson in the fucking face to shut him up. That I liked, because I still like Storm, even though they're misusing him and not doing fucking anything, even though he's the most charismatic guy on the show. Kicking that fucking idiot in the face and shutting him up. You have Christy Hemme laughing at Anderson. It's so funny what he's doing. He's dressed like a goof. He sounds like a goof. And trust me, he is a fucking goof. Then you had Angelina Love defeating Madison Rayne. More stuff with Brittany, hairspray in the eyes, 1,000 schoolboy roll-ups. This is the thing. She's the champion, Angelina Love. And the only move she knows how to do is a fucking roll-up. That's it. I mean, what is this? I mean, she should know more fucking moves than a fucking roll-up. Give me a fucking break. Do
Pinboy Fest.
Do a clothesline. Do a drop kick.
No,
something.
they did the clothesline, but just 3 clotheslines in a row. They did 4 in a row.
Drop kick maybe, body slam. Something different. But it's all roll-ups. Yeah, maybe a clothesline or 2.
I found it hard that Tenay was so excited behind the commentary. I was like, really? You're excited for this?
Mike Tenay is trying really hard, but I don't know. This means that the man must be psychotic. Because anybody who could get into this, he's got to have fucking problems. Then you had your big epic main event. You had Aries, Joe, Eric Young, and Bully Ray. The Jobber team, the faces of TNA, the Jobber faces against Black Evolution and EC3. This match right here was boring. It was slow. The finish was retarded. I couldn't even tell that EC3 was bleeding at first.
Oh yeah, no, it was there was a quick camera shot of his face, but it zoomed, it had a 1 second shot on his face and it zoomed out though. That was the key.
Yeah, he's hiding his face. This is TV-14. Everybody who defends TNA says, it's TV-14. Even the WWE, even as PG as it is, it was more violent. The flaming tables as of late and shit like that. Even that was more violent than this. This was blood, but was it even real blood, or was it just a bad blade job? Just a little bit of blood over here. Usually first blood matches, you look back at it. Go watch the WWE Network. The whole person's face is covered. You remember Stone Cold when he bled. The blood is trickling down his face.
And it doesn't even matter. I think what is TV-14, because they could just show just a small glimpse of it, and there's not even a lot of blood, and it's not even doesn't show the actual brutal value of what they can do and set there in the scene, in a whole match. Like, they could do a lot more with the blood.
In its first blood, you're sitting through a boring ass match. They're like, oh, at least someone's gonna bleed, so at least it's not great. I'm not like looking for blood like a lot of people. Here they're jacking off the blood. Oh, I gotta see blood. Like I'm not one of those types of people that needs to have blood, but if they're gonna show it, it might be cool to look at, I suppose, add to the realism of the match. But the thing is, when they finally show it, you can't even fucking see it. So what the fuck was the point? First blood match, and there's barely any blood. And when you do get to see it, it doesn't even fucking look real. It looked fake. A fucking horrible ass show. It was trash. Too much fucking talking, like the whole fucking show. And when they do wrestle, it doesn't deliver. It's only 2 minutes. There's interference in every match. Who the fuck is gonna order Slammiversary? Who's gonna pay $40 for this waste?
In conclusion, for all you guys out there, a TV-14 show, if you're going to use its true potential value, I don't think talking can be either on a rating of PG for that matter. But when we look at TV-14, you expect sex, chair shots, blood, yada yada, etc. Being that there is all talking like I am talking to you, face to face in a camera.
I can't stress
like
that
legit.
enough.
I mean, you can see this is TV-14, the way I am talking to you right now. Because I am the director of wrestling operations! Oh man, every time on TNA, I always hear MVP say that. It's like every segment just keeps popping up. It's like if I were to say it every time.
I think
this will be TV-14. This is what's like TNA is talking.
I think the View is more hardcore than TNA, to be quite honest.
I know I really just sound like an ass, but whatever.
I think Whoopi Goldberg is more hardcore, than Samoa Joe. I think Joy Behar.
No, here's the thing.
Got more talent than Austin Harris.
You could easily equate this on being on Channel 2 of a soap opera. All they did was talk. Just cut a little wrestling footage. Put that product on CBS. They could call it Wrestling Edition Soap Opera. It would work because all they did was talk, very little fighting. Everything was just backstage segments. Samuel Shaw talking, MVP talking.
I didn't even mention that. The Samuel Shaw and the Gunner. I can't even tell what part was that Gunner or was that Bram. They looked the fucking same.
Man.
Anyway, they're talking in I don't even want to talk about that. It's a fucking waste.
More talking.
Yeah, more talking. I'm gonna do more talking about more talking on a show that's nothing but fucking talking.
And then Samuel, and then Samoa Joe, if he didn't get his point across in the first segment, he had to do it again the second time with Austin Aries and do like a backstage promo.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's like a second
promos. It was more backstage promos with the same guys. A follow up. I mean. Talking. It's just nothing but talking, motherfuckers. Every single fucking minute of the show. There's no wrestling. They used to say wrestling matters. It obviously doesn't matter. Like I said, who's gonna fucking order that pay-per-view? Or what have they shown to warrant the purchase of this pay-per-view? People will argue. I know die-hard TNA fans, all 10 of you out there, you'll say, oh, it's build up to the pay-per-view. It's bad build up. Okay, we'll make that argument then. Then if you're going to defend it by saying it's build-up, then it's bad build-up. I don't like the build-up. The promos are bad. They're poorly acted. All the segments, and a person's going to think, say they're new to TNA, they see Impact, and they're going to be like, this is shitty. The wrestling sucks. They're going to be like, is this what's going to happen on the pay-per-view? Interference, idiots cutting promos during matches. This is what people think when they see the show. Not everybody's a hardcore.
If you think about it, there are like 4 matches. And two of them didn't even have a finish. 2 of them they actually had a finish. One was a Memorial match that sucked, and the one with EC3 in the final and the Big 8 18 tag team match had like a cheesy bloodshot.
At least we're Raw, even though it sucks half the time. At least you get 5, 6, 7 matches, even when it was 2 hours. Anyway, motherfuckers. Horrible ass show. Horrible. I'm thinking about reviewing Slammiversary. I'll probably, take a look at that. I ain't paying for it though. Alright.